Hello, everybody. I am making this video, perhaps with the hope that it can help to understand the extension to which this coronavirus is affecting many people already around the world, but here in Asia, it's becoming really crazy. I left China the mid January, before the the crisis came exploded, like the news exploded. I went from Shanghai to Korea. When I was in Korea, I was already feeling pretty sick. I had basically all the symptoms of the coronavirus. There was fever, I was coughing, I have a body discomfort, my whole body feel like, when you get a flu basically. I also have a headache, and because of coughing, I had internal bleeding in my throat. So I was really worried about it, and at the time we were three of us that went to Korea. On the last day in Korea, I went to the pharmacy to get some medication, like for flu or for coughing, and the first day it was not helping, but the second day I started feeling much better by something that the pharmacist gave me, sort of Chinese medicine or something like this. And so I was confident that what the problem that I had was just a common flu, or a strong a strong coughing problem. So in Korea I didn't go to the doctor, but the last day, that was the fourth day in Korea, I started feeling really sick again. So, and I isolated myself from my two friends because I started to get worried that that actually was coronavirus, and by being together, going to places, I could affect them. So I isolated myself to a hotel room, and then the next day I have to fly to Japan. So I fly to Tokyo. No problems. I had no strong symptoms of anything. I was not coughing, but once in Tokyo, the symptoms came back. The coughing came back like really serious. The pain in my throat, it was like pretty much unbearable. So the second day in Japan, I decided to go to the hospital, and so I went to the hospital and asked the doctors that I wanted to be tested for coronavirus. And what they told me is that only the government can actually make a decision whether or not a person should be tested for coronavirus. So they conducted some tests. They find out that I have no infection of any sort, and that my problem was a flu. Now, one thing that happens before leaving China is I was exercising. First of all, it's very cold in the area. It's winter time, and so back in Shanghai, I was exercising and I was sweating, and I took off my shirt, and well, this is something that you shouldn't do anyway. So, but I did it, and I remember I started feeling a little bit uncomfortable a couple of days after that. So, I continued to blame that situation, my health problem, to doing that thing of taking off my shirt. So I went to doctor in Japan, and they find out that I, in fact, have a very serious throat bleeding, internal bleeding, and they diagnosed me with a very serious coughing problem. And they asked me to take some X-rays to make sure that there is no pneumonia, and the X-rays came up inconclusive, simply because here in Japan, or at least at this hospital, there is like a sort of portable X-ray machine, and my impression when they were taking the X-rays is that the machine was not parallel to my chest, so the results came up shady, but they say we don't see any any serious problems. So they cannot they cannot test me for coronavirus. They gave me some medication, and I actually have what they gave me that actually helped me to recover, to fully recover. It continues to be cold here, so yeah. So these are the medications. This is in Japanese, unfortunately, but if someone there can actually read it, this is what they gave me. Let me put it here. Right. So this is what they gave me for 7 days. One is an antibiotics. What they say is that in case I have pneumonia, this medication will actually help me to. And then so they gave me these three things for the bleeding, for the in antibiotics, and something else for my general body discomfort. And 7 days after, I was okay. One of the things that I realized is like maybe I was actually infected by the coronavirus, and to a person who is in good health, which I was in good health, I suppose. So I could actually fight the virus in a better way. So the medication that they gave me might have been a medication that could actually help for those infected with the coronavirus. And I don't know. So maybe some countries may or some hospitals may try that same medication with people who have the symptoms but are not necessarily infected with the coronavirus. I believe that I was able to fight the the, the disease pretty well, based on my previous health condition, um, which was good, I believe. So one important thing is like to keep the immune system in good condition by exercising, by having good eating habits, and another thing is also like to avoid the public places, or at least here in the region. Now, one thing is I don't know really if I was infected or not with the coronavirus, but the truth is I have absolutely no symptoms of anything right now. Pretty much back to my, I would say, healthy condition. I believe that the problem that I had was a serious flu, based on me taking the shirt in the cold weather right after doing exercise when I was sweaty. But being in a cold weather, and also with this idea that the virus is around, so I've been pretty much, I have isolated myself in the different rooms that I have rented, because I cannot go back to China. And if I want to go home, then I have to pass by the United States, which is actually is ban all the flights from China and the region. And I think right now, from Japan, I have to check this up, and then see what happened. But what I wanted to say is like this coronavirus has actually affected me personally in terms of I am drifting to place. It's not the same as when you come and you want to go traveling, right? But I'm moving from place to place, with no purpose. I am not able to produce absolutely anything. I am not generating anything. I'm just like spending basically, and trying to stay pretty much in the room that I rent. So at this point, after more than a month to really wandering around with no specific target, of course, I try to make the best out of it. I'm always wanted to be in Japan, so I'm kind of visiting places and so, but feeling pretty much insecure. Yeah, the coronavirus has actually affected us all. My friends in China had asking me not to go back to China, not to go back to Taiwan, I'm trying to find out, you know, if I fly right now from Japan to my country, then that represents leaving behind everything that I actually had in here, which really doesn't matter much, but but it represents going back to a high cost, economically speaking, and so I think I'm suffering two things, a decrease in my economic stability, and also a decrease in my yes, like kind of my emotional stability interest, because it's really bothering this fact that you don't know where to go. I opened the world map and I look into places where I can go after Japan, because Japan is a very expensive country, so I need to get out of here pretty soon. So I opened the world map, and there are many places I could fly to, but again, is it's like like being drifting in the sea. It's like a ship drifting in the sea. No purpose, no real. I mean, the purpose of being alive, basically, right? It's like swimming in the ocean, not to drown, but is getting to my nerves. It's getting to the nerves of everybody I know, that's been affected in terms of having been in China, going out for the holidays of the Chinese New Year, and then not being able to go back. My friends, the ones I came to Korea with, are on the same situation as well. So so I don't know. I still feel like, outside China, outside the region, maybe it's good that you guys, support us, all of us, being outside by your prayers, or hopes that this is going to solve. I also hope that those that are in the ship in Japan can actually get, their things sorted out and can go back to their own countries. I feel very much for those who are in the same situation as mine. To tell the truth, I consider myself privileged, because I've been able to find out places that are not necessarily very expensive, and I've been able to also find people who have been very helpful, and they are not, here in Japan, even though I'm in Osaka right now. Everybody's wearing masks outside, but they are not, against being approached and asked questions or had a conversation, which I haven't had much conversation for a pretty long time, until last night that I met some Westerners who are in the same situation as mine. And anyways, I think, I I'm trying to do the best out of being adrift, but it's something that has started to affect me in terms of my concentration on things, my productivity on things that I could do, simply because I don't know what's next. So it's like, I would like to go to the US, or I would like to go to Europe, or I would like to move to different places that I cannot fly to because of the coronavirus, even though I am not infected, according to the doctors. So, anyways, anyway, I will try to keep, sending news through my YouTube channel about what's going on. I guess right now one of the things that I'm going to be doing documenting what's going on in terms of the coronavirus here in Japan, documenting Japan as well, so that I can share with the world outside, a little bit of my travels in Japan, which are much unintended. Is this an unintended situation? Try to do the best out of it. And for those who are stuck somewhere else in the world on the ship, I think it's good for us to start seeing the bright side of the situation and try to do something out of it. And as many things in life, things will get in the right way. It's just the process of, from now to then, getting things to the right way is what makes the situation annoying. But I guess we need to try to find a way yeah, to see the positive thing of the situation. Another thing I want to say is that my prayers are with the people of China. The truth is that I have very, very good friends in China, and I have known in China people who are just very good people. And I'm sure that Chinese people didn't want this to happen. And I know for a fact that they are working on making things better. Now, I understand that this might be an opportunity to bring this into a political side of it, and I will encourage people not to do it. You know, this is a very serious situation, and people in China has actually their life is literally stopped from being one of the most dynamic countries in the world to people being isolated, and that's it's not a very it's not a very happy thing. And yeah, maybe it's the way they do things. Maybe many things could actually happen. But at this moment, I believe that on the human side of it, I hope that we also support Chinese people the same as we do with the Africans and Australia with the fire. This is a situation where human life, regardless of their nationality, is in danger, and I also want my Chinese friends to know that I am very concerned about them and their safety, and that I know in China, I know that they are encouraging, every day on, yeah, this is going to be better, this is going to be better, this is going to be better, and this is one of the things that China has, and on the positive side, they they will find a way out. That's for sure. I mean, to what cost is not for me to discuss about it, but I really hope that things are getting better in China. And for my friends, I what I can say is learn to cook since everybody is indoors and there are more more time at home actually. So try to find a way to make it as happy as possible, and yeah. So I know this is a difficult situation for me. It's difficult, but it's tiny as compared to my Chinese friends, my fellow human beings, who are directly suffering the situation. So I hope things get better back in China, and you guys can go back to your normal life, to your productive life, and something good is coming out of this. I don't know what really, but I'm sure that when we put our brains at work, we can find out things that will be better than they were before. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and I will be sending videos now and then to wherever I go, and it will be more or less in the region, to share with you my surroundings and what people are thinking about uh, regarding the coronavirus.